Okay, so we've come back in with our jack now. We've lifted our fuel tank back up onto this ledge that goes through there. So now that the front of it is resting in that ledge, we're going to go ahead up top and we're going to plug back in all of our plugs that we undid and just make sure that everything can reach. And you want to have the jack supporting it. We don't want it to fall at this point, especially after we plug everything back in. Then we can just lift the back up and put these straps back on. So we'll go ahead and start plugging everything back in. Okay, so in order for these lines to connect, you do have to get that tank on that ledge up in there a little bit farther. You'll know because obviously the lines won't reach until you get it far enough, but it's got to go up and in there. So I was able to lift the tank up, slide the jack under it, and once it was lifted that way, it was a little easier to get it upwards. But now, once you get it far enough up, we can start connecting all the lines. So I started by connecting those two lines. One is bigger than the other one, and so that's how you know which one's on the right side. And it's very apparent on the actual tubes that are going through there. The white tubes, you can tell a big difference in size. So just make sure that the right size one goes on the correct one. And next we'll just plug in these other two plugs over here. Okay, we reconnected these last two plugs. They're different sizes, so you really can't get them wrong. The one on the bottom of the screen makes a nice satisfying click, but the other one, it'll go in and everything and you'll know it's in, but it doesn't click as loud as that other one. With everything plugged back in, don't forget to put your cover back on. Okay, cover goes back on with two of those 10mm nuts. And then just make sure that your plastic lines are all in their proper place and clipped in. And something very important when lifting, just remember where the actual fuel pump was. You don't want to be lifting in that same area because, as we know, the pump bottoms out and it's spring loaded, so if you're punching into it, it could damage the housing. So you want to be a little bit farther back. So go ahead and lift it up here, put in that front strap. Now before the second strap here, I'd go ahead and reattach these hoses. Just makes it a little bit easier while they're while the gas tank's not pushed all the way up to get them all lined up. So maybe attach them, but don't tighten them down yet. And then just continue to lift up here and attach that last strap there. And those were just those 15mm bolts that go in on the other side. Now there's also this little line here that goes into this box. Like I said, I think it was disconnected when I found it, but you just find the little nub that it goes onto and then just push it back on. Then just make sure all your hoses are tight again. Tighten down all those clamps. Make sure it's all connected. Then you can lower down all the jacks and everything you have supporting this, and you're good. One note on these bands, it seems like it's easier to try to get this rear band on first, tighten it down, and just kind of lift and push. And anyway, I had a little bit better luck getting the rear band on first and then doing the front one. Okay, reconnect your battery terminals here. Go positive first, then end with the negative, with the ground. Then inside the truck, you'll want to cycle the key a few times to get that new pump kind of working, and listen for it to come on. I'm hearing it pretty good. There you go. All done.